It is Wednesday, April the 16th, 2025, and these are my latest SEC baseball power rankings with 5 conference weekends officially in the books. We are on to weekend number 6. These are my power rankings entering another pivotal weekend on the diamond in the SEC. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, where you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $200 in bonus bets today. It's one of your favorite times of week once again. Yes, when I break down and drop officially my SEC baseball power rankings. Another electric weekend on the diamond officially in the books. Guys, believe it or not, we are past the halfway point of conference play, and the chase to the SEC baseball regular season crown is only heating up. That being said, let's go ahead and pull up each of my selections. We will start at number 16. There was no surprise here. Not a lot of discourse needed. The Missouri Tigers stay in the number 16 spot. I did something going into last weekend that you do not have to worry about me doing at any point moving forward. And that is, I won the Missouri Tigers, or I picked the Missouri Tigers to win a conference series in the sport of baseball. I will not be doing that again at any point this season. Guys, this team very well could go 0-30. And that's not a shot at the Florida Gators in any way, because obviously, again, I picked Mizzou to take this series. It was kind of more of, okay, I've picked Florida every single weekend. Something's got to give. They've lost every series. I just went against myself for the sake of it. I'm not even sure. I really didn't even believe it when I picked Mizzou. And sure enough, they get swept in Gainesville. Guys, I do not see a conference series win. I may not even see a conference win, period. We might have the first team ever to go 0-30 in SEC play. This team is historically bad. Feel bad for Kendrick Jackson there in Como. Guys, number 15, I got the South Carolina Gamecocks, another team, bottom of the cellar. You know you're having a really, really porous season when you're in game 3 of a series you've already lost. You're trying to avoid the sweep on the road, and you give up not 1, but 2 grand slams in the 9th inning. I mean, that's almost hard to do when you really think about it, to choke away a game that badly. So, you know, we talk about the hitting. There's not a lot of guys in the lineup to help out Ethan Petrie, and that's true. But the pitching has been so horrific for them. I continue to lead towards, guys, I think Paul Maneri could be one and done at South Carolina. Like, it's that much of a mess, and I just don't see him being the guy that you look at and you say, you know what? I believe in this guy. Down the road, they're going to get it going. I just don't see it. I think they need to get rid of him, need to get rid of Monty Lee, clean house, start over. It was a weird hire from the jump. Ray Tanner, who hired him, is no longer there. I just don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the Maneri era at South Carolina. Guys, at number 14, I've got the Kentucky Wildcats. Give Kentucky a lot of credit. Gave Texas a really, really tough run for the money. The one guarantee with Kentucky is you can find the opposing fan base on social media that they are playing complaining about them and complaining about their style of play, if you will. It just never fails. People call them Bush League. They call them this. They call them that. They play a different style of baseball. They love to play small ball. They're going to steal. They're going to hit and run. They're going to do things that make you uncomfortable. Again, guys, we're another weekend in. I still have a tough time figuring Kentucky out from the standpoint of, like, they're certainly, in my opinion, not an Omaha team, but they're not terrible either. Like, they're not nearly what the two below them are, but they're not great either. It's very weird. Kentucky just kind of are what they are, which is very annoying to play for everyone else. Guys, at number 13, I've got the Florida Gators. I'm not going to overreact to sweeping Missouri, but I tell you, massive series upcoming this weekend at Mississippi State. The chances are slim, but they'll be slim to none AKA there'll be none if you don't take 2 of 3 on the road at Dudy Noble this weekend. Florida, a glimmer of hope. I mean, really, everything clicked. It seemed like the pitching was much better. The bullpen was much better. Can they carry that over against decent competition? Because I don't even think you can call Missouri that at this point, which is decent competition. We shall see. Florida in my 13 spot. Speaking of Mississippi State, at number 12, I've got the Bulldogs. Impressive series win at Alabama. I will give you that. Again, kind of similar with Florida. Can you do it again? Can you carry it over, build some momentum? Again, these are two teams, both at Dudy Noble, fighting for their postseason lives. From what I saw, Pico Khan, obviously still very, very good in that game one spot. You look at a guy in the lineup, Noah Sullivan, Ace Reese, Hunter Hines got it going. They've got some pieces there. I just talked for Florida. For State, same thing. Massive, massive series for the Diamond Dogs. It's just one at home, guys. You've got to have, if you're going to be a serious player for the postseason. There is no question. Guys, at number 11, I've got the Texas A&M Aggies. And here we go. Are the Aggies hot? A&M now winners of 7 straight. I'm counting the midweek last night. Winners of 7 straight. And I'll say this with Texas A&M. I'm dipping my pinky toe in. I'm not going all the way in. You might recall a few weeks ago, after A&M lost the series to Kentucky, I said, hey, A&M's done. They're cooked. I'm finished with A&M. They're not going to the postseason. That's it. It's over. Stick a fork in them. It's been stick a fork in them watch in the SEC this season. I feel like we're week by week, new team we could stick a fork in. But I stuck a fork in A&M. I'm not ready to completely pull it out yet. I'm not ready to go overboard. Hey, you swept South Carolina at home after you took 2 or 3 against Tennessee. Good job. You've won 7 in a row. If you want me to be bought in, go to Fayetteville this weekend and take 2 or 3 from Arkansas. Because here's the problem, guys. You've won 7 in a row. You just swept South Carolina. You've now won 6 SEC games. I believe it is 6 SEC games. The schedule is just such a gauntlet down the stretch. You get Mizzou, but you also get at Arkansas, at Texas. I believe you're at Georgia. I mean, it's where are the other wins coming from? That's my question. But I will say, you got a lot more hope if you're A&M than you had a few weeks ago. The offense is starting to get going, and confidence. Momentum's a fickle mistress. This team's got talent. We knew that. Now they're starting to get confidence. Who knows? But I'm not all the way back in with A&M quite yet. I just cannot bring myself to do it quite yet. Go to Fayetteville this weekend, take 2 or 3. We'll have a different conversation. Guys, at number 10, I've got the Vanderbilt Commodores tough series loss over the weekend. Funny enough, my opinion of Vandy doesn't change a ton after losing the series at Oklahoma. I mean, I did pick Vandy, but I wasn't shocked with how it went. OU takes 2 or 3 tough series, 2 very similar teams from the standpoint where they stand record-wise, what they're fighting for. So A&M for me at 10, just sort of one of those middle-of-the-pack SEC teams that, we know Vandy at this point, guys. They can swing it from time to time, but it's going to be pitching. It's going to be defense. They've got a big one upcoming this weekend as well. Got to bounce back from losing 2 of 3 in Norman. At number 9, guys, I've got Alabama. Here's what we're learning about Alabama. Alabama's not a bad baseball team. They're not at all. They were overrated earlier in the year. I do believe so. They were never a top 10 team. Here's their biggest problem right now. Zane Adams on Friday nights is getting shelled. I don't know what's going on with Zane Adams. I don't know if they need to switch up the rotation. I don't think you can this weekend. I'm sure they've announced the weekend rotations because obviously you're Thursday through Saturday. You're going to LSU. I don't think you want to move that many pieces around on a short week of rest, but I don't know about Zane Adams, man. I don't know about him in the Friday spot. He's the weekend guy for them, no doubt, but I think Riley Quick is probably their best arm. Do they flip them around? We'll see. You obviously still have Justin LeBron, one of the best players in the SEC, but I just think Bama, give them credit. They got hot early. They were deserved of the climb they had because of the way they were playing, but I don't think that's ever really who they were, if that makes sense. Guys, before we get into the top 8, because that was our bottom 8 teams, I want to tell you about our friends. You might notice my new lid here. Our friends over at Melon. Guys, you all know. You've been watching my content probably for a long time, or if you haven't, this is the first time. I am a huge hat guy. Some people are sneakerheads. I am a hat head, or whatever you want to call it. I'm such a hat guy. I'm very particular with my hats. Like, I'm very picky. You should have seen me at this golf tournament today. I spent like way too long, probably 30 minutes in there trying to determine which hat I want, what hat, which one fits the best, the bill, the material. Guys, I can tell you this honestly. This is one of the nicest hats I have ever put on my head. And again, I am a hat guy. I am particular with hats. If you wear the same hat over and over, if you're looking for a new go-to hat, Melon's the way to go. Especially, guys, if you're wearing an old hat, it's starting to smell, got sweat stains, breakdown, you're doing it wrong. You need a hat to keep up with you, and that's where Melon comes in. Guys, it's not your average hat. It's the most premium and durable headwear in the world. You can wear it to the tailgate. You can wear it to work out. You can wear, guys, you can wear it on the golf course. I've seen this in golf shops since I've been down here on the coast of South Carolina. You can literally wear this thing anywhere. It's my new favorite hat that I have in my closet. Like I said, guys, that's saying a lot because I've probably at latest count got about 60 hats in my closet. I'm not even joking. This has moved right up to the top. Guys, again, they have different options for different weather. If it's warm out, you might be jumping in the pool, lake, ocean, what have you. Summer's coming up. You need their hydro collection. When it's cold, you want to stay warm. They got you covered there as well. They got a full thermal collection. They got everything you need. This is the biggest, baddest, best new hat out. Go to melon.com. That's MELIN.com. Put it to the test yourself. If you hate it, come back to me. Here's the kicker. You ain't going to hate it. This hat is awesome. The most durable hat you can think of. Do it, wear it with anything, whatever you're doing. That's our friends over at Melon. Melon.com. That's melon.com. MELIN.com. Put it to the test yourself and make sure you tell them that SEC Unfiltered sent you when you go get your new lid today. All right, let's jump back into these power rankings. Our top 8 at number 8. I've got the Oklahoma Sooners. Took 2 of 3 from Vanderbilt over the weekend. Really impressive, guys. They bumped Kyson Witherspoon back a day, right? Because the back spasms. Back spasms. What back spasms? All he does is go out there 7 innings scoreless. It was just your typical Kyson Witherspoon performance. That dude's an absolute dog. I still think one of the best aces in the SEC. I think they're going to ride him all the way to the postseason, potentially hosting this Oklahoma club. Really, really solid. Love what I saw from them over the weekend. So many different guys in the lineup. I feel like each and every single weekend stepping up. Love what I saw from OU. One of these really good middle-of-the-pack SEC teams that I tell you this, if they're not hosting, nobody in the country is going to want to see OU in their regional. I can assure you of that. Guys, at number 7, I've got the LSU Tigers. They took one of the biggest tumbles from last weekend because, listen, I picked Auburn to beat LSU. I did. I picked Auburn to beat LSU. I felt good about the matchup. I felt good about just when they were catching LSU. I felt good about the Sam Dutton revenge game. Something in my gut told me, hey, Auburn at Plainsman Park, fans are going to show up. We're going to talk more about Auburn in just a second. But I just felt good about it. But LSU getting swept, now that was the shocker of the weekend. LSU getting swept was the shocker of the weekend. And the way Auburn did it, shoving the ball up their rear ends. I mean, the pitching dominated. And this is the thing that scares you about LSU a little bit. Because I think LSU still, guys, I think they're one of the best teams in the country, one of the most talented teams. They've got young talent everywhere. They got a nice mix of old and new, old and young, if you will. They have a nice mix of talent, veterans and newcomers. But we've seen it a couple times this year. And it hadn't really bit LSU, at least to this point, to this level, where the bats will go cold. The bats will go silent. I see LSU fans on my timeline all the time complaining about runners in scoring position, lack thereof, hitting with runners in scoring position. You know, it'd have been one thing to lose 2 or 3. Hey, you take your lumps in this conference, so be it. To get swept is what really, really stings. They got to bounce back in a big way. Got Alabama coming to town. I mean, hey, you want to see a group of folks panic? Let LSU lose the series to Alabama. Panic will set in. Granted, we'll drop our predictions tomorrow. You'll know what I think is going to happen. But I expect this LSU club to bounce back in a big way. But it scares you a little bit. How the bats can go cold. That scares you a little bit. That's the thing that scares me about this group. LSU dropping down to number 7 in the latest rankings for me. Number 6, I've got the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss, listen, I give them credit. Hanging around with a team like Tennessee. That series lived up to all the hype and all the expectations. Liam Doyle, Andrew Fisher, they both come back. The intensity, you could cut the tension with a freaking knife over the weekend. Again, not much for me changed about the way I feel about Ole Miss. And I see a lot of people too saying, is Ole Miss overrated? Are they a top 10 team in the country? I don't know about that, but I think this Ole Miss club is still really, really solid. They need Riley Maddox to be good in game twos. Hunter Elliott, we know what he is. Tons of dudes in the lineup that can hurt you. Udemark being the most notable, but I didn't bump them down a ton. I still think of a quality team. I think they're a very quality team. Ole Miss is, but getting into a little bit of a danger zone next few weeks. Got to see them bounce back from losing that home series to Tennessee. At number 5, I've got the Auburn Tigers. Tip of this melon cap to the Auburn Tigers. I mean, guys, we just, for whatever reason, we haven't been talking about Auburn enough. We have not been giving Auburn enough love. Now, how do they follow up sweeping LSU? That's going to be interesting. And you got to go to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns. More on them in a second. But the way Sam Dutton spun the baseball, the way Cade Fisher spun the baseball, and it's so many guys in that lineup. We know the Cooper McMurrays. We know the Ike Irishes. But what about a Derek Fabian stepping up? I mean, it's just – and here's the thing, guys. I'll tell you this. Butch Thompson and his track record at Auburn, what he's done down in the Plains, we all should have seen this coming after they had a bad year last year. Like, I thought Auburn had a chance to bounce back in this season, but to this level, been wildly impressive. I think Auburn's deserving of where they're at. Number 5 for me. We'll see if they can hang on to it. They can stay in the top 5. Huge opportunity to prove themselves this weekend in Austin and hand Texas their first series loss of the 2025 season. You talk about making a statement, turning heads. They can do that this weekend. Number 4, guys, I've got the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas falls to Georgia at Foley Field after winning game 1, by the way, 13-3. They fall in that series. The walk-off on Sunday. I mean, guys, again, that was peak SEC baseball. Gabe Gackel's got to be better for them. Gabe Gackel's got to be better. The guys outside of Root have got Zach Root. I forgot his last name. Zach Root. The guys outside of Zach Root have got to be better as well. Not worried about the lineup. I think Arkansas is going to continue to swing it, but Gabe Gackel's kind of the key for them, I think. Like, how good a version of Gabe Gackel they get is probably going to determine a lot of success or how much success they have in a weekend. Arkansas, still very, very good team. One of the best teams in college baseball. Tough weekend. Happens. Listen, it happens on the road in the SEC. Happens on the road in the SEC against one of the best teams in college baseball, might I add, that being number 3 in my power rankings, and that being the Georgia Bulldogs. The dogs are barking. Guys, off to the best start in school history. I mean, it's, the understatement of the century is Wes Johnson was the right pick for that job because, my goodness, they continue to set history with every win. They beat Georgia Tech at Truist last night. A really good Georgia Tech team, a ranked Georgia Tech team, a Tech team that's going to be hosting right on the edge of a top 8 national seed. I mean, guys, Georgia's just they're awesome, man. Listen, the pitching still scares the hell out of me. It does. It will until they get to Omaha and hoist the trophy, if that's what happens, because I know Georgia fans are going to get tired of hearing me talk about it. But when Leighton Finley has the longest outing of the season for a starter for you, and he went 5 2/3, well, that tells a lot, right? But listen, the pen has stepped up. I mean, it's just you pick your poison in the lineup. They've got so many guys. Everybody talks about Zambrowski, but it's so many other guys. The Slate Alfords, there's so many other dudes that can hurt you in that lineup. Georgia's lethal, man. I mean, Georgia's lethal. They are scary good. Cannot wait to follow them the rest of the way. Right there in the thick of the SEC regular season title race. I mean, the only team that's been able to stop them is Texas, and Texas has they've stopped everybody. Guys, at number 2, I got the Tennessee Volunteers. I fear that the downfall of Tennessee was greatly exaggerated by many folks out there. Give Tennessee credit, man. After a really, really tough series in which they lost 2 of 3 at home to Texas A&M, an A&M team that coming in was downright pathetic. They go on the road, all the emotions, all the drama. Doyle, Fisher are back in Oxford, and they get it done. Score 3 in the top of the 9th in the final game. How about Liam Doyle dropping his nuts in game one, going 8 2/3, or was it 8 1/3, I believe, 8+ against his old team in a building where everyone essentially was against him outside of the guys in the dugout, Tony V, all them. Everybody was against him. He goes out there, he shoves. Tennessee's got to get Marcus Phillips figured out. They got to get the rest of the pitching figured out. Tegan Coons wasn't very good either. Had to win a high-scoring game on Sunday. But Marcus Phillips has got to get figured out. I don't know if it's, and I'm speculating here. So if I'm wrong, please forgive me. But I wonder with a guy in Marcus Phillips, is fatigue starting to set in? Because he was I thought he was going to be a pin guy coming in. And now we're getting that point in the season where maybe some fatigue. You could potentially be talking about that. I don't know if that's what it is, but he has not pitched well now. Back-to-back starts. Got to get him going. But despite all that, Gavin Kylan comes back to the lineup. He swings it really well. Andrew Fisher plays hero ball on Sunday. Gritty series dub. That's what you got to do on the road in the SEC. Tennessee got the job done. And, guys, at number one, hook 'em. The Texas Longhorns sit atop the SEC baseball power rankings, or at least my SEC baseball power rankings. Number one team in college baseball. It's well-deserved. I mean, they haven't lost anybody. Haven't lost a series to anyone in this conference or outside of this conference. They're a complete club, man. I mean, the Schlossnagle effect is real. They're doing it without Max Ballou, which I think is even more impressive. You go on the road, take 2 or 3 from Kentucky. That's a tougher place to play, I think, than people give credit, just because of the style Kentucky plays. Listen, guys, Kentucky Proud Park, it's not like it's hostile and Kentucky fans are showing out. And all due respect to Kentucky's baseball crowd, it can almost kind of lull you to sleep a little bit. And then you got Kentucky putting pressure on you and doing some things that maybe you would label, or some would label, or maybe at times I would label as a little bit Bush League, but that's just how they play. Despite that, Texas gets the win. Again, guys, they're a complete team. I mean, I've spent so much time talking about Max Wiener, what he's done with the pitching staff. You got to talk about Nolan Cain as well. Troy Tulowitzki, what he's done with the hitters. And, of course, it all starts with the man up top, Jim Schlossnagle. I mean, it's the way he's managed that club has been phenomenal. They are a complete team. They are the best team in college baseball, I think, right now, and they are my number one team in my power rankings. And, guys, until somebody knocks them off, until they lose a series, this is where Texas belongs, and this is where they deserve to stay until somebody knocks them off. Could it be Auburn this weekend? Maybe, but you got the series in Austin. Advantage Longhorns. We'll see what happens, but Texas, well-deserved number one in my latest SEC baseball power rankings. Guys, that being said, before we get out of here, we do have a few questions. One specifically, we got a super chat from our guy Horton Hears You. $5 super chat. Thank you, Horton. Says Texas making a statement in its first year in the SEC. I love it. I mean, guys, dare I say, Texas, and I know basketball not necessarily, but I mean football and baseball, Texas is running the SEC a little bit. Not even a little bit, a lot of it. Let's just call it what it is. They're running the conference their first year in it. All things considered, Texas is running the conference their first year in it. So I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't know what God or gods Texas fans prayed to have these days come upon them, but it worked because, I mean, the Longhorns, we saw what they did in the gridiron. Now in baseball, number one team in the country, number one team in the rankings. I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit. Guys, I'm going to run through a few more of these. Christopher McCarthy, great to meet you at the Heritage as well, my friend. Small world, running into folks out in the golf course that fans of SEC Unfiltered supporters. Christopher, I appreciate you. Hope you had a great day at the tournament, my friend. Bill Milburn, it's Texas, baby. That's it. That's all he's got to say. Caden B says, gig 'em. Horton says the hat is not uncomfortable. The hat is very comfy, my friend. It is. Trust me, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't wear it. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Let's see. Dash says, hook 'em. Caden B. UT is undoubtedly the best team in the SEC. I wonder, are you trying to be sarcastic for real? Because if you're saying UT and Texas, I would agree. But it's definitely those two, Texas and Tennessee, that are right there at the top. Dewey says Tennessee needs A.J. Russell. It's Gavin. Oh, it's Keelan. Okay, thank you. Gavin Keelan. A.J. Russell, they do need, though. Yes, they need to get him back in the weekend rotation. They need Marcus Phillips to pitch better. Gavin Keelan, thank you, Dewey, for the correction. Let's see. Let's see. One more. We'll take one more. Caden B. I understand Arkansas is good, but if A&M keeps playing like they are, it will be a great series. No doubt. I mean, we're going to find out a lot this weekend between A&M, Arkansas. We're going to find out a lot, I think, more from the A&M side. Like, the momentum's great. Now, you did it against good competition. Tennessee, that was one day of baseball. Now, can you go on the road to the Hog Pen? They take 2 or 3 there, like I said. We'll be having a different conversation. We'll be having a much different conversation. Again, guys, appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Before we get out of here, do want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because as always, we're powered by our friends at FanDuel. The wait is over. Baseball season is finally here, and you can start the season strong on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now FanDuel is celebrating the return of baseball by giving new customers $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to get on the action, from hits to steals to home runs. They got a lineup filled with all your favorite bets, or if pitching is more your thing, FanDuel's got a deep bullpen of bets from strikeouts to shutout innings. So when you place your first bet, it can be on almost anything. And if it hits, you'll get $250 in bonus bets. And guys, I'll tell you at this point, since we're talking baseball, we're talking MLB, you want to make money? Bet against the Braves. I hate to say that, but bet against the Braves. When you do, just make sure you visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 up and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and up and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, or text HOPE-NY in New York. Guys, once again, appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for the wind-up to preview and predict everything happening this weekend in the world of SEC baseball. But until then, guys, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. As always, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you all on the other side.